If you want to know about dragons, really know about them, in the game of D&D, there is only one definitive source, the Draconomicon. Welcome back to Dragon Week here on Green and Gold Gaming. Monster Week is an annual community event created and organized by Pointy Hat and Jenny D to bring together TTRPG creators on YouTube, and this year's theme is dragons. I'm Renegade Paladin, the primary narrator and editor here at Green and Gold Gaming, and this evening we're discussing bronze dragons. You ever notice how many of these start with B? Bronze dragons have a strong sense of justice and will act against cruelty and anarchy when they encounter it. They have the ability to polymorph themselves, common to several of the metallic dragons, and many a bandit or pirate has learned to his sorrow that his intended victim was a dragon. Bronzes are also inquisitive and find the doings of humanoids fascinating, and will often polymorph themselves into domestic animals or other humanoids to study their activities. Bronze dragons are semi-aquatic and like to lair near deep water, salt or fresh, and are frequently found along coasts or on islands. They often dive to cool themselves and hunt for sunken treasure or pearls. They find themselves in constant struggle against evil sea creatures, particularly ones that threaten the coasts. Sometimes they find themselves neighbors with black or green dragons, and while they're content to leave other dragons alone, the chromatics rarely feel the same. Bronze dragons prefer to make their lairs in caves that are accessible only from the water, but the interior of the lair must be dry. They neither sleep nor lay their eggs underwater. They're often found in tidal caves that have a lower area that floods with the tides and an upper area that remains dry. In its true form, a bronze dragon has ribbed crests sweeping back along its head, which end in horns that curve slightly inward toward the dragon's spine. There are also horns along the chin and lower jaw. The mouth ends in a beak-like snout and houses a pointed, non-forked tongue. They have webbing behind the forelimbs and webbed toes, enabling them to be excellent swimmers. A bronze wormling's scales are yellow with a green tinge, darkening to a rich bronze as the dragon ages. Like most dragons, the pupil of a bronze's eyes fades as it ages, eventually causing the eyes to appear glowing green. In flight, a bronze dragon's bat-like wings display verdigris-like modeling on the trailing edges. The wings insert behind the hind limbs where the tail meets the pelvis. Unusually, the innermost phalange of the wings is the longest, with the wings supported by a modified alar olecranon, see this morning's video on internal anatomy instead, allowing the dragon to employ its wings as extremely large fins underwater. These dragons literally fly beneath the waves. A bronze dragon spends a great portion of its time polymorphed into older humanoids or small animals, the better to indulge their curiosity without disrupting events or becoming the center of attention themselves, though they value altruism and moral order and will intervene if they deem it necessary. Gregarious among their own kind to an unusual degree for true dragons, even the notoriously social brass dragons avoid each other's company, they will often swim together and play in the waves, and congregate even more in assumed forms when there is something of interest to them occurring. Fascinated by warfare, many bronze dragons have served in armies in the service of good causes, only to spend decades afterward debating the course of the war. While as proud as any dragon, bronzes enjoy the company of lesser creatures and consider them just as worthy of a good life as any dragon. When in the company of humanoids, they typically take humanoid form themselves, both to keep their companions at ease and for practicality's sake. After all, an adult dragon can be very hard to fit into a human-sized building. They like to test the decency of strangers by posing as maroon sailors or primitive tribesmen. Those who mistreat the disguised dragon soon learn the error of their ways. Bronze dragons tend not to reveal themselves to those who pass this test with good behavior, but remember it well and may someday reward their benefactors. Most bronze dragons keep a constant watch for ships in distress, whether caused by pirates or natural disasters. They usually perform rescue while disguised as something else, so the rescuees rarely know what their rescuer truly was. Bronze dragons mate for life after a deliberate and respectful courtship process, and often refuse to take a new mate after the death of their original partner. They tend their eggs and offspring carefully and will defend them to the death. While bronze dragons eat a broad variety of aquatic plants and seafood, they prize shark meat, and often hunt sharks for days at a time. They also eat pearls, and keep pearls in their lairs as both treasures and snacks. They also collect and hoard other sea treasures like coral and seashells. While they won't often say so, in metals they favor gold because it will not tarnish in their humid homes. Bronze dragons will generally only attack in defense of themselves or others, and dislike killing anything they do not intend to eat, favoring using their repulsion gas breath weapon over the lightning bolt that is their other breath weapon option. They often find a way to win without inflicting injury, such as marooning a foe on a desert island or dismasting a hostile ship. Thus concludes our feature on bronze dragons for Dragon Week. Be sure to check out the Dragon Week features from other creators as well. A link to today's playlist will be in the description and the cards. If you enjoy our content, please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you later in the week for more discussion of dragons.